everybody energized? Yes? Okay, great. So here we are in the third round of interviews. That is something very exciting again, like we just saw the last two sessions here. At the corporate office, we are constantly looking at the mission to enhance our students' academic environment, help them nurture their holistic development is obviously at the prime importance for all of us. Apart from the academic journeys that every student has, I think what we really look out as educators, as academicians, is to support our students in the best possible way to nurture their holistic development. And in the same league of thought, we are proud to introduce a pioneering initiative. Narayanji, would you join me in saying it loud and big?
Yes, it is.
The Reflection Chronicle,
Think Big Book.
So here we are launching the Reflection Chronicle, which has been crafted specifically for students from grade 3 to grade 12. The project of the Reflection Chronicle has taken almost an entire year from the ideation stage to now being in front of you. It's just there, fresh in front of you, where the entire process has been proudly led by the training team. And what could be better than to ask Narayanji himself here to help us understand a bit more about this beautiful creation. So Narayanji, I'm curious, it looks beautiful, it's big, it's called the Think Big Book.
Yes.
What makes it what has the thought gone behind naming it the Reflection Chronicle?
See, so the very important quality that is missing in almost all of us, we rare reflect, you know.
True.
So reflection is very important. 2 years back, we introduced Teacher Reflection Journal. You might be knowing, everyone knows about it. So we could not get that overwhelming support for that year, but yes, by now, we can say that when we visit schools, we often see teachers showing us their reflection journal.
Okay.
They've started.
Right.
So cultivating that habit of reflection is the prime thought behind developing this book.
Okay.
Right? So that was one inspiration that came to my mind. Why not cultivate this habit of reflection? You know, when we reflect, we do not only think about the past, but in a way we work on the betterment of our future also. So we work on our future processes. So I thought, let's work on it. And that was the thought when I started. I was inspired by this. And the one very important thing was, I thought that when teachers are not equipped with that skill, they have already done this, they can better guide their students also if the help and guide is required.
True, sir. I think it's very important to reflect. I think every 1st January also we reflect on how the year was and we take new resolutions, and this is how even the Reflection Chronicle would really look like, help our students further understand that it's time to think what and how their progress is proceeding. So Narayanji, this is based on a Panchakosha Vikas. The Chronicle says that it's on the theory of development, which is Panchakosha Vikas.
Right.
Can you throw some light on what exactly is Panchakosha Vikas?
Yeah. So this book is based on a framework, on a theory, which is called Panchakosha development. This Panchakosha development, Panchakosha theory, is mentioned in NCA foundation stage. And even NEP also talks about Indian knowledge system, And this year, we have the theme. What is that? Celebrating Bharat. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to inculcate all those things in our in the curriculum which we are giving in this session. So Panchakosha theory and this book specifically is based on Indian perspective of personality development. So Indian perspective of personality development talks about this Panchakosha theory. It says that in our body, there are 5 koshas.
Okay.
5 koshas, and koshas are called Seeth in English. They are Annamaya Kosh, Pranamaya Kosh, Manomaya Kosh, Vijnanamaya Kosh, and the last one is Anandamaya Kosh.
Okay.
They are related with the development domains. Annamaya Kosh is physical development. Then we have the second one, which is Pranamaya Kosh. So we talk about the awareness and self-awareness part.
Right.
Then we have the this
Social emotional.
Social emotional, which is Manomay, Vigyanmay intellectual, and then when it is Anandmay Kosh, that is called spiritual development.
Right.
So lower self is Annamay Kosh. Annamay is physical development. And it is well said in our scriptures. Annam bhavati prajanya. So this is this is development, this is nourishment of the body first. So we talk about this lower self, but this we do not stop here. We have to go to the last level, which is called higher self, and that is Anandmaya Kosha. So that is the spiritual development. So when we talk about holistic development takes into account of all these 5 layers, nourishing and nurturing these 5 layers, and then we can say we are working on holistic development of a child. So this is holistic development child, and this is Indian perspective of personal development.
Wow, so this is very intense. I think children are very spiritual anyway. They are spiritual beings, is what is also said. And so seeing this whole process of, like you said, moving to the highest level of development and seeing this whole Panchakosha development of the child, I can see that in this there are 52 weeks of constant journaling, reflection, thinking back on last week's challenges.
Right.
How is this? Isn't it a little overwhelming for the child?
Not at all. I would say not at all, because I have worked personally on it with my team members.
Okay.
So let me tell you that how this book has been designed and how it is not going to put any kind of burden on the students.
Right.
And how we are going to make it very, very interesting for them to do it. So this book is reflection for 52 weeks.
Right.
So we have taken, it is there in the book.
It's there in the book,
So
yes.
1 month, 4 weeks, right?
Right.
Every week, end of the week, the child has to answer only 5 questions.
Okay.
And why 5 questions? Because these 5 questions are aligned with the 5 domains, 5 koshas.
Yeah, the Panchakosha.
So Panchakosha.
Right.
So just 5 questions. If I take 2 minutes in doing 1 question, it will hardly take 10 minutes.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So week 1 to week 52 it will go. After every 4 week, we have monthly insights. So monthly review also. Right? They can find this time 5. Again, there are 5 questions in monthly insight and monthly review also. Right? And I'll show later on. In between, like when the 4 weeks are done, in between we have interesting activities for the student to do, especially if we talk about this grade 3 to 5.
Right. Like we can see like there is somewhere
the fun activities, doodling, matching,
mazes,
drawing, mandala art.
So keeping the theme of the year also in mind.
Quizzes, puzzles.
Quizzes. It
After
just
the
breaks
end
the
of
monotony
every 4 weeks, we have these interesting activities for children to do. Very colorful book, and a lot of features are there. Column art also there. So these are some of the interesting features, number 1. Number 2, you said that it's giving them some kind of extra work and task. Not at all. Look at the kind of questions we have. It's so interesting, The question is like, what made you special and special and unique this week?
Right.
Now, if the child is answering the question when everybody clapped for me in the classroom for right answer I gave, or for the attempt I made, so the child will just jot it down. Imagine you are preparing the child to diagnose his self. It's called self-awareness. So these are simple questions. What was the new interesting topic that you learned this week?
Right.
And what was the pain point? Was there anything which you did not like it? Let them recall, right? So such an interesting questions that they would love to do it. And then ideally in the year 1, I would say, well, they are not that much, expert in doing all these things. Then they may need little guidance from our teachers also. And teachers, because they have gone through this process, Reflection Journal, they have now a fair idea that how to help and guide, how to do all this, how to fill this journal.
Yeah, Naranji, I'll just come back to how teachers will also help. But I'm curious to know, this feeling of when you look back at the week, when you reflect is so important. And you realize that you've nailed a goal or how you've made someone's day better. Like I can see those parts in the chronicle. There is also a rubric that has been defined on how the child will progress with respect to moving from needing some help to. So can you just throw a little bit understanding on how would the child understand कि हाँ मेरा थोड़ा evolution या मेरा थोड़ा development हुआ है?
So interesting question. So after every week we have given the progress tracker. यानी बच्चा खुद अपनी progress track कर सकता है.
Right.
So the progress tracker, they are given
Somewhat
5
like
domains: physical domain, then the social emotional being, mental and intellectual, and the spiritual domain. And on the in the self-evaluation part, there is a scale, rating scale: 1, 2, 3,
1, 2,
4,
3,
and
4,
5.
5, right.
1 being lowest and 5 being highest.
Right.
Again, the rubric is well defined in the first few pages of that book.
Right, it is there,
So
yes.
the child can trace and the child can color that if I am at 1 in this week. So it's physical
over here.
development, I am at 1. Why? Because question is saying that, did you sleep well during the complete week? Did you do something for yourself? Did you do yoga and practices? Did you participate in physical activities? Very simple questions. So if the child says, well, I'm missing at this part, so I have to work on this particular domain and I have to reach the second goal. I have to improve my score in the second week. So this is a kind of reflection. We are trying to cultivate that kind of habit into our students. And that is the thought behind it.
This is, I mean, I wish this was in my school and at my level when I was a child myself. This is so beautiful. We are making the child mindful of his
Yes.
or her
Yeah, yeah.
actions, how it can lead to a bigger thing in their life. If not today, and I think that is all what theory of development talks about, that it's a lifespan approach.
Right.
It starts from here, goes to, and that's why it starts from a point and then one makes a decision to evolve, and that's what evolution is all about. And I think if we're teaching our students from a very foundation stage, which is grade 3, say I think the Reflection
Right,
Chronicle
right.
starts from grade 3. So it will become a practice then. So how do you see its implementation in the classroom? किस period में करेंगे? कैसे करेंगे? काम उनके पास है already. How do you see its implementation?
All right, very good question. So this Reflection Chronicle, a think big book, is not to be done in the classroom, number one,
Okay, wow.
right?
Then when, sir?
So ideally, I told you the child has to find time, which is hardly 10 minutes, to go through this, the week 1. So if the week is over, right? The week is over. So the child will go and do this. And in the coming week, when the child is back in the school, so what the teachers have to do.
Yeah, so who will support him? So ठीक है, वो 10 मिनट उसने निकाल लिए,
हाँ.
उसने भरा. Now, how is the process of the teacher? How is the
I'm
parent going to be
that.
involved
I'm
in
coming
this?
to that. So
Right.
initially, they need support from the teachers. So in the zero period, in the free periods, teachers can talk about it. Do not go through it entirely. Talk about it. Okay, have you gone through? See, have you filled your reflection chronicle? I found there are very interesting questions. How many of you have done that? What made me unique and special? If you ask this question to me, no, I will say my day was special when you all gave me this birthday card.
Wow.
Right? Teacher himself is trying to motivate student to fill this, that kind of example teacher is giving. So that discussion can be done in zero period, free period. Teacher, especially the class teachers, they have to motivate student in a way that they are persistently doing it. I know that initially they need little guidance support from the
Yeah,
teachers.
they'll need a little push on
Right.
this till it
So-
becomes a habit and
So
a practice.
that is number one, where teachers come in the picture. Second one is, without the support of parents, we cannot make any program successful. So now how the teachers can include parents in this process? So teachers have to talk about this importance of this Reflection Chronicle during their parent orientation, during their PTMs, tell them that how important is this, cultivating this habit of reflection in our students, and talk about its benefits, if they do it, how it helps them, how they improve them, how this practice of writing reflection chronicle, filling it regularly, how it develops in a good human being, right? So this way they can, teachers can include parents also in this process and cultivating this great habit of reflection.
So I can actually see that how the three main stakeholders in education, which is the teacher, the child, and the parent, are going to be very fruitfully involved in this whole process of making reflection a part of somebody's life, which will lead to nourished souls, like you said.
Right.
So, so why do tiny reflections like remembering a kind word or a quiet moment seem to leave such a lasting impression? What do you foresee with this project ahead?
Right. Very good question. You know, you never thought about it. So when we were designing this booklet, no, it has gone so many processes, working, reworking, cutting, crossing, deleting. You know why? Because when we're making question, it is easy to make question for this audience. But when we talk about the children point of view, so then we think, oh, it looks difficult. How can I make it, how can I make it very, very simple?
Very specific.
You know, and we experimented this question on the children in our families. उनको करवा दिखाओ जरा बताओ, बच्चा blank है. But when they found, oh, there was a moment, good question. I used this book and some of the weeks, questions of some week with my daughters. And I asked them, what made you happy this week? She said, nobody asked me this question before. And I just tell me. And that was that habit she made, and I made a habit that every day you can share or every week you can share.
Right, and
What
similarly,
so that mindfulness kind of this activity is very, very important for children. Once they make it habit, not only that, you know, what was that moment when you help your partner? You know, was there something which made someone's happy in your class? Or not only class, what was that service you adopted to make your community happy? Right? These are the questions which will actually make them reflect कि मेरा अस्तित्व मुझ तक नहीं है, मेरे साथ पूरा और भी लोग हैं. So it's the universe where I am living. I am a tiny creature here, right? I am helping myself. Along with me, there are my fellows. I am serving my society, my community, and after all, I am serving my nation.
Right, beautiful. I think now, I think with this, the time would come where students have learned beautiful themes of the year, sustainable development goals, social emotional learning. I think now is the time where things need to be put into one place, and I think this Reflection Chronicle will help us do it in a very structured, nice way where the child will become more mindful, because I think children are visual learners. The better they see, it will help them take it better inside them as well. So, sir, what are you most thrilled about how this project and students will engage in this? What's the most, what do you foresee as the most thrilling part of it?
I'm very enthusiastic. I am excited to see students filling this journal first, filling this chronicle first.
First step is just getting
and coming and
into the
sharing their experience with the teachers, classrooms, with their fellows. I'm very excited about it because it's the kind of new thing for us. And I haven't seen in any school doing the Reflect Journal for the students.
Right.
I have not seen this.
So that's why I wish it was in my school as well.
So that's why I'm saying I'm very, very excited about this book. Doing students and coming and sharing experience with their fellows in the classroom and with the teachers, with their parents, with their community. I'm excited about it.
Great. So I think we are all excited, and we'll now open the questions to you all, that if you all have any questions related to our production that has come out, the Reflection Chronicle. Any questions that you all have related to this? Yes, Anil sir? Right, sir.
What are
the steps for personality?
Many parents are asking the question, sir, how I can make my child get to personality development steps.
Okay.
So for the steps, this book is very good. And in the place of Reflection Chronicle, this name is many, I think it's very good, suitable that how to make a personality development. That title will be very suitable than this, my suggestion only, this one. Number two is that one you are mentioning about this different koshas, pranamaya kosha, annamaya kosha, pranamaya koshas. Actually, these are the words taken from the Panchadashi, I think one of the spiritual books, Panchadashi. Correct?
It's from Taittiriya Upanishad.
Panchadashi.
Taittiriya Upanishad.
It's well illustrated in the Panchadashi also, one of the chapter that one. So these words, whenever we mentioning in this book here, we can say that it has been taken from such a books. Otherwise, people misunderstand that it's a Jaipuria words.
No, it is given there in the book.
It should be mentioned.
It is written in the book. It is mentioned in the book, sir. That
yes.
These are the domains which are from Panchakosha theory of development, which is mentioned in Taittiriya Upanishad. Actually, this has been said by NCF. It is mentioned in NCF foundation stage.
Yeah. It should be
completely mentioned.
It should be mentioned there. Otherwise,
it is there.
Yeah.
It is there, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Then it can be. We can say that can be connected to the personality development. That's good.
All right. Yeah. So see that you have to take that lead. That Think Big book. What is Think Big? Think Big
but
is
one
actually.
Underline one words you can down there right side you can write that personality development.
Okay.
Yeah, that words we can. It's my suggestion only.
So point noted.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Point noted. Though it is written that theory of development, you are saying it's about personal development.
He wants the word personality development somewhere. Any other? Thank you, Anil sir. Yes, Priti ma'am.
that name is something different.
Yeah.
So we are telling the holistic development
Right.
that should be well illustrated. Otherwise, there should be chance of misunderstanding. Chance is there.
I could not understand
Yes.
your question, sir. Can you just come
I'll
again?
tell you. Anandamaya Kosha, it is a upper word of
I know.
Aham Brahmasmi.
Yes,
That word is touching there.
it is.
So when you explaining this personality level to that level, there should, I don't know, I didn't see the book. I don't
Yeah.
know how it is explained there.
Right.
A little care should be taken.
Right. So when you talk about this, this is a long discussion, but I'm giving a short reply, right? So Anandamaya Kosha, I told about it in the very beginning. This is a journey from lower self to higher self. Anandamaya Kosha is higher self. When you are completely detached from the world, moh maya se alag ho jate hain aap. Whatever is happening, you are unaffected by that. Right? So Anandamaya, when you are situated in that Anandamaya Kosha, you are in that state. Right? But that begins with this spiritual development. You need to start that practice, which is spiritual development. From there, you can reach there. Right? So that's why we have given the name spiritual development. We have not given the name that Anandamaya Kosha there. So there is a destination where we have to reach. And as I told you that it's a journey from lower self to the higher self. Higher self for us is Anandamaya Kosha for students. If you talk about yourself, myself, it is something different. Yes.
Sir, I have a concern.
Yes, ma'am.
What type of pages we are using? I mean, what is the texture? Because Reflection General had glossy pages.
Yeah.
And here, if we are using the same, class 3 is using pencil. So it will...
I think it's not glossy. I have a copy with it.
It should be normal text, matte finished paper so that children can write and that could be visible.
I understand. And we kept this feedback in our mind when we were doing this, because that you're talking about the teacher reflection journal, right? So we had this in our mind, that feedback we had. So we have kept that. It is not that glossy paper. It's, I think, matte finished. We'll have to check.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I am very happy with this release that you have done, because I used to always keep wondering why only adults are supposed to reflect. And then slowly, as I realized when the years are passing by, corporal punishment is absolutely banned in the classrooms. End of the day, everybody reaches to the counselor. Counseling is when the child has already done something wrong. What if the child starts going through whatever they have done or whatever they may be seeing their peer members doing, writing and finding themselves every week? It will definitely make the childhood healthier for reaching the adulthood.
Absolutely.
The parents have to be oriented,
Yeah.
because this will be one of the tasks where, again, if it is taken as a task and a homework, it will never be successful.
No, not at all.
It has to be oriented to the parents that if you give half of your time to let the child do this more than anything else, it will help you as a parent for your future old age.
That is why I said, while I was saying that without involvement of parent, this program cannot be successful. And how we can orient, there are avenues. I told that discuss. Whenever they come to meet you, इनफॉर्मली पूछ लीजिए और कैसा कर रहा है बच्चा प्रेफर कौन कर रहा है ये बड़े अच्छे क्वेश्चंस है वीक 1 में कुछ बात हुई किसको पुश किया आपने
मार्क्स के बजाय
kind of questions.
So what happens, there's a lot of marketing gimmick in this. People and counselors, they come, they do these short phases of events in the school, do a small workshop and run away. And that touch and go wouldn't help. Something like this from the very young age will help. And I'm very happy with all that you have been speaking till now. So good, congratulations to you.
One question, last question. Last question, I don't know whom to select for last question. Rana Sangar, Rana sir, 1 minute. Gunjan sir, Gunjan ma'am.
Sir, I just wanted to know, suppose like kids are doing writing, reflecting and writing.
Yeah.
Is there any way that a child can maintain confidentiality if he doesn't wishes to disclose?
See,
because like these will be in the glare of the class teacher and parents.
So, we have not asked the student to come and show or submit this book in the classroom. No, never. You just do it. We have not seen. We have not done this. ये आप करिए, आपको अच्छा लगे शेयर करिए, और जरूर कुछ बातें शेयर करेगा वो. I'm sure. But it's not forcing them to come and share कि अगले हफ्ते देखो ये इस वीक का जो है रिफ्लेक्शन जर्नल सबमिट करना लाकर, जैसे हम टीचर रिफ्लेक्शन करते हैं. No. No. So not for that purpose, but to motivate them. Have you started doing it? I found in this week there are very interesting questions. Kuch kar rahe ho? That's what. Not asking them to their answers. Generally talking about, do you have something to share? Do you want to share something? That's it. Not forcing them.
So,
Okay.
so it's not a question, just a humble submission. I mean, I'm really happy to see this initiative. Children will be more expressive. They will have psychological satisfaction as well when they write their problems as well there. Their appreciations and their comprehensions they may write over there. One thing that I would, somehow we are in the process of pronouncing Kosha, Rama, Bodha, Buddha. So can we not come back to Kosh, Ram, Krishna, Buddha, not yoga but yog? If we are Indianizing it, भारतीयकरण कर रहे हैं तो फिर पूरा करें. वो आ की मात्रा मतलब I don't know whether I am right or wrong,
नहीं, you are
but
right.
this is my. So if we are taking Bharatiya names, so why do we not pronounce them as they should be? So it can be Panchakosh, Anandamay Kosh,
Correct.
Bodh. So वो जो लास्ट में ए लगा देते हैं उसको पेंसिल से
We'll
काट
follow
दें.
it. Certainly, sir. We'll follow
So
it.
this is my humble submission. Just
Your
thank you so
advice
much.
will follow it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.